there, sales champions, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Blackwood Academy's tip of the day. Today, we're going to be tackling one of the most common objections that you're going to hear as a cold caller, or if you're doing any kind of prospecting. Can you just send me an email? You heard this before. It is one of the ultimate brush-offs. But here's the thing. It doesn't have to be a dead end. Not at all. When you handle it correctly, send me an email request can actually be turned into a great opportunity. So in this video, I'm going to show you a couple of ways to respond to it, to keep the conversation going, and set set yourself up for a follow-up call that actually has an effect. So let's dive in, get going, and look at look at why is it that we get, why is it that send me an email isn't in the end? So let's break it down. What's really happening when someone says, send me an email? Well, sometimes they're actually busy and they just don't have the time to talk to you right now, especially if it's early on in the conversation. Other times they're just, we're trying to get you off the phone. They're, not trying to be rude. Sometimes they just have the information at hand that they think they need and they're just not sure and they want you to just send an email with a couple more information. They're not ready to say yes or no. And sometimes they're just hesitant about engaging with you in the future. So look, either way, whichever direction that goes, you do not want to be the one to give up on just send me an email. So the key is not to take it personally. It's not to think it's the end of the world. It's just one of those things where you got to learn how to deal with it so you can actually get more sales in and get more things done. It's you're gonna hear it 1,000 times, and you gotta use it to as an opportunity to reframe the conversation. So what you don't want to do is, of course, you know, don't immediately agree and just email them and hang up. You're gonna lose any chance of building rapport, and it's gonna be, it's not gonna get you any further. Don't push back, of course. I don't think any one of you guys are doing that, but it's worth mentioning. Of course, you don't want to go into like, why don't you want to talk to me anymore? Like, what do you think you got better things to do or something like that? Of course, don't do that. And don't ignore their request. As we talked about with feel, felt, found, or layer, you want to always acknowledge that they don't have the time or they gotta move on or they need time, need more information. So you want to acknowledge it and then steer it in the right direction. And you can go to my earlier videos about layer, about feel, felt, found, and you'll be good at handling this as anything else. Now, how to handle send me an email request? Well, here are some 3 ways to respond to it, and the last one is my favorite. You can start with the placeholder approach, which is just, look, I'll be happy to send over some details, but to make it more relevant, can I ask you a quick question about your current setup? So that way I can tailor the information to your need. Now, this works because you're keeping the conversation going while showing also that you're focused on helping them. This is a good way of keeping the conversation alive a little bit longer and show them that you're just not going to send them some generic information that they don't even want to see. If it's early in the conversation, you can use the quick chat. So, if it's just in the beginning of it, you can go, absolutely, I'll send the email. But look, in my experience, I found out that a quick chat can usually save a lot of back and forth. Do you have 2 minutes now just for a real quick chat? This works because it challenges the status quo. It's a, non-confrontational way of handling it. And it often gets them to open up. It also, does that time constraint thing. Now, my favorite one is the follow-up appointment. It can go a couple of ways. You want to find your own way of saying it, your own way of doing it. But in my experience, the easiest way of doing it is just going for the simple, look, John, of course I can send you the email, but in my experience, and you have to agree with me on this one, I've always found out that conversations are way better than sending an email. You get better information out of it. I mean, wouldn't you agree with me on that? When is the last time you had an email that was more informative than a quick chat with someone on the phone? Usually they'll agree with it, or you can phrase it a little bit different where, hey, John, of course I'll send that email to you, but, be honest with me. When was the last time you received an email that was more informative than a quick chat with someone on the phone? And they will usually agree on it and maybe say, yeah, I know what you mean. I just don't have time now. And then just go, no problem. What I want to do is I want to, would it be okay if I put a placeholder on your calendar when I could call you back and we can take just a 5 minute quick conversation to discuss this in a little bit more detail? You can ask some questions and you can actually make an informed decision. I promise I'll keep it short and relevant. Is that fair enough? And they usually will go, yeah, sure, try giving me a call next week or, and if they just go, yeah, sure, you can always just go in with the alternative close of, all right, how about if I call you on Tuesday or Wednesday after lunch? And they'll give you a time. Yeah, try catching me on, Wednesday at 2 p.m. You go, perfect. I'll send you a little placeholder in your calendar so you remember it and you know what it's about. All right, thank you, John. I'll call you on Wednesday. And you're done. You got a follow-up. He said yes. He's going to be more concentrated. He knows what it's about. So, look, each one of these responses acknowledges the prospect's request while also, gently steering the conversation towards your goal, which is keeping the dialogue alive. So, look, you gotta keep practicing these things. So, the next thing would be, action steps or whatever you want to call them. It's what I've been talking about in any kind of these, any kind of my videos, and it's these action steps. Write out the phrases. Go practice them, say them out loud, say them again and again and again. Role play the scenario with your colleagues or your friends. You should be doing that anyway. Taking an hour a week with your, sales team and go through these, objections, these questions that come up or how to deal with any of it and just practice. Be really difficult with each other. Make a game out of it. Have some fun. And it's going to lighten the mood and get it easier when you get on the phone. You can record some calls and review them, how you handle them. And of course, my biggest suggestion of all is, role playing. Practice them, of course, but you gotta get on the phone. Look, I do boxing, and I could read all the books about boxing and watch all the YouTube videos, and they will give me some information. But sometimes you just gotta get also up in the ring and get punched in the face. And it's just gonna happen. Yeah, again, that's the best teacher of all of them, because you're gonna find out that you didn't die, you didn't lose your job, nothing's happened, you move on to the next call. Every no is the step to the next yes, as we talked about before. A no is just a stepping stone. So, you gotta get on the phones, get those 30, 40 calls a day, and just keep at it. So let's close this up. Sending an email isn't an end. It's an opportunity, and you should look at it as a challenge to learn more about your prospect needs and find out what sentence or phrase you can use that helps you most in this situation. Use one of the 3 approaches that I talked about, the placeholder, the quick chat, or my favorite, the follow-up appointment. Practice these techniques, make them a part of your sales toolkit, and you'll be more equipped to handle these sales calls this week. So, look, if you found this tip helpful, hit the like button, subscribe, turn on the notification, and check out my Udemy course. It will help you get way better at cold calling and handling objections. You can find it in the channel subscription. Now, let's get out there and get those calls in. And look, we're not going to let send me an email stop us anymore. And we're going to get more sales done. So I'll see you in the next video, and have a good day.